OMG, baby, tell him.
All right, here we go. Welcome to Powered by Backers. It is another episode today, a little later in the day, but I'm glad to be joined here by Matt Wilkinson. Matt, thank you very much for joining me.
Yep, thanks, Justin. Pleasure to be here.
So I'll throw this out. You may be the first British / sort of Aussie, because I was looking at sort of some of your education you've ever had on the show.
It's a good mix. Good breed.
What's that?
It's a good breed.
It's a good breed. There you go. It was a good year, right? There you go. So I'll just throw this out there too. I like pulling just little things. So you were you're from South Staffordshire. Is that where you went to high school?
Yeah, originally in England, from South Stafford. Yeah.
Okay, cool. So I'll do a quick little bio. So the one thing that I thought was really cool, I'll throw this out there, consumer sector procurement, which is a phrase that you coined. You have 20 years of supply chain management experience, private sector procurement and public sector procurement, an MBA, diplomas in management. You are the founder and CEO of eGroceries and the founder and CEO of S2P, which we will talk about. So I'm going to start off with the very first thing. Again, thank you for joining me. Consumer procurement. Explain that. Sorry. Consumer sector procurement. Explain what that means. I was actually looking at the S2P website. I was kind of going through it. I want to hear it sort of from the horse's mouth. What is consumer sector procurement?
So consumer sector procurement is basically something I developed over 20 years supply chain experience.
Right.
Started off, my entrepreneur career was 20 years ago when I set up one of the first internet cafes in England. Okay. And then from there, throughout my career, always been entrepreneurial, just looking out for different opportunities. So consumer sector procurement is about empowering and enabling consumers to get value out of products by saving time, money, and waste. Like theoretically, those three pillars are what we focus on. Okay.
And so okay, so that we'll leave it at that. We'll get back to that. Let's take a step back then. 20 years ago, I like it. Started Internet Cafe. Give us the walkthrough of your journey to where you are today, and then we'll get into some of the stuff you're doing right now.
Sure, sounds good. So yeah, 20 years ago, we saw an opportunity to set up one of the first internet cafes in England. At the time, not many people had computers in the households. Right. So we felt that it was a good opportunity to educate people on how to use computers and also the benefits of the internet as well and how to use the internet. So that was why we were set up. Really good opportunities that came there from me. Gave me a lot of insight into the internet in the early days and what opportunities were there. So the two key things that I saw an opportunity for, which were like a website where people can buy in bulk or get lower costs, right? Which is ultimately what Amazon became in essence. And then also 20 years ago, there was like really over 70% of the British population couldn't actually buy products over the internet because they didn't have a credit card. At that time, it was mainly credit card purchases. So you'd hear people like saying, "Oh, if I give you the money, can you pay, buy this with your credit card, and I'll give you the money for it," and that sort of stuff.
So what? Just out of curiosity, was that I'm surprised. Is that a British thing that they don't have 70% don't have credit cards, or was that the same statistics here, or?
I'm not sure of the statistics here, but that's what it was 20 years ago. I guess it was down to credit ratings, poor credit. It's probably different today, but there was an opportunity there.
Really, really interesting. And that's 20 years ago. That's 2000, early 2000s. That's sort of like right at that, the beginning of the internet. So
it was like in 1999, it was something like 15% of the population in England had cell phones.
Right.
That went up to, in 2000, it went up to like 25% and then 46%.
Oh, yeah. I'm thinking even myself, like I was just graduating university. I didn't have a cell phone. I barely used I used the internet during school, but I think I got my first connection to the internet in 97, I think. So, right in around that time frame, right? So very early on. And that was basically through school. So,
yeah. The interesting thing is the internet cafe at the time, it was, we had the fastest internet connection that you could get. It was a 512K fiber optic. It was, you know, super lightning speed.
Right.
10 times faster than at home.
Yeah.
And it cost us $20,000 a year.
Wow.
And now it's like you get like 100 megs and, you know, for $50 a month or
yeah,
whatever.
I think I've got the 500 here. And it's about $80 a month or something like that. Yeah. With Bell's got like the 5 to home kind of thing. Interesting. Yeah, it's obviously technology has gone at quite a rapid pace. So okay, so fast forward. So you've got the internet cafe. You understand. You see sort of the internet and the consumer side or potential for the internet. Where do you go from there? What's sort of the next step that you took in that?
So the next step I took then was when I moved out of the internet cafe, I started a supply chain career. Started off in automotive manufacturing in England.
Yeah.
And it was a Japanese company. It was a really good foundation for me. It was all like Lean, Six Sigma, Van Kaizen, all those like principles.
Yeah.
How to always be focused on continuous improvement, be more efficient, more effective. And that's kind of just, it becomes a way of life. And so that's been my career throughout.
So can just for everyone else, can you sort of describe the difference between Kaizen, right, and Six Sigma? What's sort of the difference between the two?
Well, Six Sigma is like it's the overarching, just when you get to certain levels in terms of like with you just overall quality and all that sort of stuff.
And Kaizen is more that like iteration, right? It's like iterating, right, over and over and over again. Okay, so you get into the procurement. So you're in sort of the public sector. That was private. So that was more the automotive. Talk about, okay, I'm going to ask a question. When did you move? You went to Australia for your MBA? And when did you move to Canada or vice versa?
So it was vice versa, but it was, so came to Canada in 2006 and started off in agricultural manufacturing.
Okay. And so then you worked for the hospital, right? Or the health organization in Victoria?
Yeah, I moved into healthcare from there and Manitoba. I was there for just almost 9 years.
Okay. And
then ended up going over into BC for just over 3 years.
So did you like it out in Victoria? I love Victoria. It's sort of that newlywed, nearly dead, as they say, right?
Yeah, Victoria was awesome. We had a really fun time out there.
Yeah, it's good. My wife's from Vancouver, so I like the West Coast. It's definitely a nice little trip to get out there. Okay, so you're in the healthcare space. You were in procurement in healthcare, right, with the health authority, right? So the British Health Authority, and then prior to that, Manitoba Health Authority?
No, it's Manitoba Health, and then going to BC Health. Yeah.
Right, BC Health. Okay, cool. So you get there, then you go do your MBA, and then you came back, and that's kind of where.
So my MBA, that was it was actually distant learning, so it was while I was in Canada that I did the MBA. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I did my MBA at Athabasca, so same idea. Sort of 3 years of sitting at a kitchen table typing essays and lots of like interactive sort of learning with people pretty much all over the world, right? So let me ask you about that experience. So how was that experience for you? I mean, I know how it was for me, but what's that like? Tell people maybe that are thinking of that. Was it good, bad?
I'd definitely recommend it. It was really good experience for me. It started off initially, it was like the modules were monthly, so you could have completed it in as little as 12 months.
Okay.
After about three or 4 months in the program, they changed it and it went over a 7-week period for a module, and then it was a 1-week break and then into the next module.
Okay,
which
so
actually
they extended it out a bit, basically? Yeah.
It worked better for me because I was working full time while I was doing it. So it was like the working full time and then trying to do 160 hours a month in MBA was just
it's hard. A little hectic. I can imagine. Yeah, I was similar. Ours was, I think, a little more spread out, but intentionally, so that you weren't sort of bulked together. Cool. So let's fast forward. So you finished up the MBA and you started e-groceries. I think about 2017.
Yeah.
So what's e-groceries? You're AKA you are the e-grocer. So give us the lowdown on the e-grocer.
So e-groceries basically we like the Trivago for groceries.
Okay.
And our competitive advantage is being able to instantly compare a list of multiple items between grocery stores.
Really? Okay. So from is this for online or offline, like actual shopping or online shopping?
It's for all three. What we do is, so you've got the different methods of obtaining your groceries. So you've got the bricks and mortar,
right?
You've got the click and collect, and then you've got the online ordering for delivery.
Okay, explain click and collect. What's that? Like pickup?
Click and collect, that's where you order and then you go to
drive
the store.
by. Okay, yeah. I'm trying. I've never actually used that. We've gotten delivery, and we've obviously we've gone to the store. Oh, did I lose you there? Oh, you kind of clicked out.
We're back.
Oh, there you go. Yeah. So yeah, obviously I've been to brick and mortar, and we've had delivery. Okay, so explain how that works. Like I've always looked at Trivago. I mean, I get it. It's so you've just basically built sort of some sort of crawler that crawls their sites, or don't give me all this secret sauce, but yeah.
Yeah. So we've got a few different methods for obtaining the pricing for all the different products from the different stores.
Okay.
And so what we've done basically is we gather that information, we put it into our database, and then as a consumer, you just go on, you fill out you create an account, set up your grocery list, which is a savable list.
Okay.
And then every time, just before you go shopping, you just click optimize, and it tells you all the local pricing and where to go to the store for the lowest cost.
Interesting. And so it's an app. I'm assuming it's an app.
Yeah.
We
haven't quite finalized exactly whether it's going to be an app or just a website.
Okay.
A website.
So is it in use? Is it operational right now? Are people using it?
Not operational at the moment. We're hoping to get it operational in the next couple of months.
Oh, okay. So are you just building out sort of the prototype and building? Okay, interesting.
Yeah.
So that's. Go ahead. Sorry.
We spent the last 6 months kind of just making sure that we can gather the data and that we can turn it into something viable and usable for the consumer.
Interesting. So have you gone to market at all with sort of, like testing and seeing what people appetite for that is, or what kind of sort of validation have you done in the marketplace?
The validation that we did is kind of the journey. I'll just go back to where the journey kind of began for e-groceries. And it goes back to August 2017. Amazon purchased Whole Foods for $13.7 billion.
Right.
And that was, it wasn't just about the future of groceries, that was about the future of commerce. I saw that, to be honest, I thought that Amazon were going to move into groceries the way that e-groceries is going. I thought that would be kind of just how they would go into it.
Okay.
But for them, when they purchased Whole Foods, because they're now purchased a grocery chain, they're no longer an independent company. So
e-groceries, a third party, so they can't. Yeah, right.
So e-groceries is kind of a third party that gathers all that data. So we don't push any particular company. We just run the data, give the consumers the information. They can pick how they want to do it, and it could be that could even be a combination of going to a store, click and collect, and having some items delivered to the home as well.
Right. So how? We're always interested. People, entrepreneurs are watching. Like, what's sort of the monetization on that strategy? Is it the grocery store is paying you from an advertisement, but then that kind of takes away your indifference, right? If you're starting to take. So what's sort of the
So we've got three revenues. The one revenue is membership.
Okay,
so
from the users.
From the users.
Right.
Then we have the click and pay through the grocery stores. So if the consumers select their store, then we'll hoping to generate revenues through that.
So you can get a percentage kind of referral fee almost?
Yeah, that's what we're working with. We've got to work with the grocery stores to get that in play. Right. And then there's just the traditional advertising revenue as well from other methods.
How open are the grocery stores to this? Like, are they for it, against it, or?
At the moment, our approach is kind of if we want to build up the consumers first, we're gathering the information. We want to provide the information to the consumers. We want to gather consumer members so that we can show that there's a demand for this type of a service.
You want to get sort of critical mass before you go to the grocers and say, hey, we've got thousands, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of users. Here's the benefit to you. Cool. Yeah. Okay, so S2P then, what's sort of the tie-in there?
So S2P is stands for source to pay.
Source to pay, yes.
So source to pay is basically end-to-end procurement. We're doing. We want to develop technologies that can basically help consumers buy products and make informed decisions. So we're going to start off with e-groceries. Then we're going to move on to other products such as like e-home as an example, or like and also e-auction, which would be reverse auction.
And it would be the same sort of like Trivago type model where you're now getting a varied kind of, it's almost like, what's the TripAdvisor kind of same, that's sort of, we're getting all the different kind of things pulled together, and then you get like reviews from different people, and it's kind of a consumer feedback loop. Is that kind of the idea?
Yeah, that's where we're going.
Yeah, okay. So that S2P, so would that then have its own standalone kind of brand, or would you have sort of sub brands off of that, like eGrocer and then eHome or?
Yeah, so we've got S2P, which is kind of the parent company, and then we've got eGroceries, we've got Prepay, which is a payment system that we're trying to get into play as well. Then we've got eAuction, and there's a few other different products that we're working on.
Okay, interesting. Do you mind if we talk about Prepay? What's been your experience getting in? Like, so are you guys in Canada? You'd have to be, I guess, FinTrack sort of MSB, or what? How do you guys go about what's the process to be a payment processor?
Where it comes with Prepay, that's kind of, we're still in development at the moment. It was 20 years ago I came up with the idea of that our cell phones would become our wallets. Right. So it was kind of just, we're going to be, and people either think I was crazy, or you're going to be a billionaire.
You should have done it 20 years ago, because that you'd be a trillionaire by now. But yeah, you look at like WeChat and some of the like overseas in Europe and Asia, they use their cell phone for everything, right? All payments pretty much. It's almost like not Apple Pay, but like all the variations of that in other sort of markets. So are you looking to kind of bring that into, say, the Canadian or North American market, or what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, so what we're looking at is, so for Prepay, it's based around a prepaid cell phone. So what we find is, like if you were to, cell phone companies obviously don't want to, if say you got a contract with a cell phone company,
right? If
you purchase it through your cell phone, now the cell phone company is on the hook for the cost of the product, and they bill you at the end of the month. So that's not going to work. There's too much risk there for the cell phone companies.
Right.
But if you've got a prepaid phone, you actually put in the money on there first, so the money's actually on the phone. Then there's no risk to the company, because you top up your phone and then you go and make a payment in the store.
Right.
So there's a lot, and especially like down in the States, there's so many people that don't even have a bank account.
Right.
There's a huge numbers down there. Right. So it's just basically trying to. It goes back to that 20 years ago. What I found was a website where you could get discounts wasn't necessarily available to the masses. So the people that actually need to save money couldn't save money.
Couldn't save money. They don't know where to purchase. Yeah, they don't know where to find it, right? Or exactly, look for it. Interesting.
Yeah, or they didn't have a way of paying for it easily. Right. So prepaid cell phone, you top up your phone, and then you make a purchase through that.
You should talk to Algus. He was on, I think it's Axton Ness from Dot Mobile, Data on Tap. So they're putting together, I think they call it an MVNO. I'm probably ruining it, but it's like a virtual network, and they're creating sort of like a step down for like that entry level phone, or like entry level phone type buyer. Probably sort of a step up in around that prepay, or somewhere around there. And they're creating sort of a marketplace for things for those people. I would think something like what you're offering would be something that they'd be interested. I would think. I can't speak for him, but it sounds like, I think there's definitely some synergy, same sort of market, people that are looking for, obviously deals that are, on that lower end of the phone sort of totem pole. And they're building up a marketplace of, used phones and different things that will service that market. So that maybe look, it's Data on Tap or Dot Mobile. I'll send you a link anyways. I'll send you his contacts, but that'd be, I think, something interesting. Cool. Well, Matt, I know it's sort of getting to the end of the day there. I really appreciate you joining me. Typically I ask one last question around your sort of inspiration, or if you had kind of one word or one piece of advice that you could go back and give to a younger Matt? Something that you would go back to and say 20 years ago, like, hey, this is one thing you should think about. What do you think that one kind of piece of advice would be?
I would say probably the word for that would be momentum. And get started, like gain momentum, fail fast, learn from your failures, celebrate successes, and gain more momentum.
Just keep the ball moving, keep the ball rolling.
Keep it going. You've got to always keep it moving. Just get started. That's the key. Get started, get going.
Yeah. Have you found in your sort of track record, you had some maybe hiccups where you maybe let the momentum stop, or have you been able to keep the momentum going, or what's?
I think there's, with everything there's always challenges, but you just got to keep it going overall. This, when you're an entrepreneur, you've just got to wear so many different hats. It's impossible to stop the momentum because there's just so many different things that you need to do. So when one's kind of slowing down, you focus on other areas. Yeah,
you become sort of like a little bit of a jack of all trades, a little bit of a, a little sometimes overstretched, but that's cool. Appreciate it. Thank you very much, Matt, again, for joining me. Definitely, I'll send you the link for August as well. And we'll connect at some point. Are you guys gonna? I'll throw this out actually. Are you guys gonna be raising capital for S2P, or either that or e-groceries?
E-groceries is the main one that we're working on at the moment, so we are looking to raise capital for that.
I don't normally do this, but definitely you should check out backers. We'll connect on that. We can put a campaign up and let the actual shoppers invest in your platform. So
yeah,
I think
we've seen savings of between $50 and $300 a month is what we've typically
for the
seen.
people on the platform. Wow, $50 to $300 for an average user a month. So I guess we don't want to go back into the question, but just one quick question. How many different sort of locations, like how do you make it easy so that I don't have to go to 5 or 6 different groceries? I guess with the click and sort of, what was the term? I love the term you used.
We optimize.
Click and pick up. What's it called?
Click and collect.
Click and collect. That's a new term for me. I would have to say that 10 times fast. Click and collect. So you can sort of optimize with click and collect online and brick and mortar. So they're not kind of going, all over the place, right?
Yeah. And what we found is, like I said, $50 to $300 is what consumers can save. So
wow. Awesome.
Good
that's good. So where can they find you? I guess on Instagram, Facebook, website. Where can people find you?
Primarily on LinkedIn, or the website is s2p.co.
Right. Okay. Perfect. And then when eGrocer's gonna be launching, hopefully sometime maybe in the new year, to be able to either get on the website or download the app.
Yeah.
So they should definitely stay tuned for that. Is that going to be Canada-wide or more regional?
We're starting off in Canada. We're actually, the first location is going to be Calgary. There's 500,000 households in Calgary alone, so that's a good market for us.
Good.
And also, people in Calgary area, they've been hurting since 2008. There's a lot of people looking to get savings from groceries.
Right.
And so we want to help them. And in Canada, there's like almost half of Canadians have less than $200 left at the end of the month after paying all the bills. So our goal is to try and get $200 back into Canadians' pockets.
It's awesome. Awesome. Well, good luck with that. Be sure to hit me up too when you do launch. Maybe we can have you back on here and talk a little bit about it and spread the word about the launch as well. So let's connect. I appreciate it, Matt. Enjoy your evening. And you can probably leave the office now, right? It's 5 o'clock somewhere, right? Time to grab a pint. So anyways, appreciate it. Enjoy. Everyone else, powered by backers, Matt Wilkinson, Justin Fox. I will see you again tomorrow. Hey there. Okay, bonus round. We ended the call. Matt called back, called me on the cell phone. It was his first time in sort of an interview, so we wanted to give him the full go. Matt, tell us a little bit. Okay, so one of the things you mentioned on the phone call was Techstars. So one of the things that you've done with eGroceries is you've been on Techstars. Tell us about that experience and how that went.
Techstars, it was an amazing experience. You know, gives you the opportunity to take the full weekend, to take your idea, develop it into a product, get an MVP together or wireframes, and then there's judging on the Sunday evening. And so I was fortunate to be able to attend Calgary's Techstars back in February, March this year.
Right.
And 26 pitches. They picked 10 to develop over the weekend, of which we were fortunate to be chosen. And on the Sunday, we actually got awarded with the honourable mention from the judges. So that was really good. It was a fantastic weekend, and I would highly recommend that to anybody that's interested in taking the time out just to get it done.
Yeah, definitely. So, how long ago was that? Was that recently?
February, March 2020.
So just right at the beginning of COVID. So was that in person or remote?
That was in person.
It was in person.
Yeah.
So it was like one of the last in-person events ever. You were part of it. Okay, interesting. So Techstars. So fast forward. So you were telling me a couple other interesting things, and you know, obviously, I encourage you to do more of these. Just off the, you know, part of this is kind of, you know, getting the technology side is definitely getting comfortable with that. So as you get more comfortable with that, you'll definitely be able to promote your brands and your business. But one of the things you were mentioning that you've had some success in acquiring advisory people for e-grocery, or is it for P2P or for e-grocery, or kind of both? What's the
kind of business B2C, business to consumer.
Okay, so you've been bringing on advisory. You know, advisory though. You said a couple of different people have stepped up that said they'd want to work with you guys.
Yeah, so we've had we've got the top 5 in the world for influencer for cybersecurity. We've got the top 5 in the world for digital transformation, and we've also got a former Amazon executive that was responsible for Amazon Fresh and their grocery program and expansion into India. So it's
it's been interesting. Okay, so and what we'll end it off. I think there was an interesting point you brought up on the phone. Critics, naysayers. The people the doubters. If you ever watch a Casey Neistat, I think there's a Casey Neistat video, to the haters, to the doubters, to the 5th grade teacher, you know, blah, 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 blah. It's like a fast beat. Have you ever seen that video? You know the one I'm talking about? Go watch it. It's Casey Neistat. Do you know who Casey Neistat is?
Not a clue.
Go watch it. He's awesome. He's kind of fallen off a bit. He was a blogger, but he did a lot of stuff around like motivation. Basically, he was given a blank check. I don't know how much it was from Nike. So he's a film creator, right? He was given a blank check from Nike to create a commercial around, this is like 15 years ago, around maybe like their sort of their Fitbit or exercise thing. And he literally spent all the money. He had like 7 days left till the pitch was due for the commercial. And so he got all the money he had left. So he didn't spend all of it, but he spent most of it. Like we're talking like hundreds, thousands, maybe millions or whatever. He took the last like 100 grand and he traveled around the world for like 10 days and just filmed like everything he did. And then ran home. He pretended like he was running everywhere, like with Nike or whatever. And then the funny part is the very last scene, he's actually wearing Reeboks or like Adidas. So it's like, he's like, and don't mind the last scene. But then he's like, look, I've got my bracelet on or whatever. So, and they loved it. It was like a huge hit. Anyways, tell us about the haters, the doubters, the critics.
So as well as connecting with people through LinkedIn that are positive, and you know, you want to connect with people, you want to get some good criticism and that sort of stuff. So there's certain people that I connected with. I won't mention who they are, but they know who they are. And so talked about e-groceries, everything that we're looking at doing and that sort of stuff, and they loved it as well. They couldn't come up with anything that was negative. The only thing that they said that would be negative is if we started promoting stores or getting paid to push certain products and that sort of stuff. That's, as an independent, that's not what we're going to be doing. So.
Right. Interesting. So even the haters, the doubters, and the critics like the idea. So this has been the bonus mile, or to us Canadians, the bonus kilometer. I'm going to just throw it out there because you can call me anytime, but one more. Is there anything else that you would like to kind of throw out there? Anything you're thinking of? Do you have kids?
Yeah, I got 2 kids.
How old are your kids?
6 and 8.
There you go. Boys, girls?
Eldest is daughter's 8, son's 6.
Okay, cool. I've got 2 boys, 6 and 4. So lots of fun, lots of fun. So you're working hard, running a family, running a business. You know, when do you find time to yourself? Sports? Any sports? I will get into activities. Are you a footballer?
Golf. Yeah.
Golf? I
Yeah.
see that. Yeah, golf. Okay. No football, as in like NFL or soccer?
No, nothing like that at the moment. Yeah.
No. Just you got no time, right? You're running a couple businesses and a family. So cool. Well, I'll let you go, Matt. I appreciate you jumping on. I appreciate you being sort of eager to get the story out there. We want to share your story and your success. So we definitely need to get you back here on for round 2 sometime in the new year when you've launched e-groceries, and maybe it's in Toronto. Maybe you've gone beyond the Calgary launch. Maybe it's in Toronto. So that'd be we could definitely get the one up on the people across Canada, and we could be first ones to use or one of the first to use your platform.
Okay, that's great, and thanks for the bonus round, Justin.
Well, you get the extra $50, right? This is like the Techstars honorable mention, right? No one's ever had a bonus round as part of this. I've done this probably 50 times now. No one's ever gotten a bonus round. So there you go. Awesome.
Appreciate it.
Cool. Enjoy your evening. Thanks, Matt.
Thanks.
All right,
OMG, baby, tell 'em.